Say if this isn't going well or it's getting too long, feel free to heckle. I'm just gonna keep going. All right, I'd like to start off, just by thanking everyone for being here. As most of you know, I'm Colin's little brother, and I'm also his best man. Very honored to be so. This is going well. So Colin and I have always been very close. We've lived together for much of our lives. Even though we're 11 years apart, we've been best friends for as long as I can remember. Growing up, Colin was always there for me. Even starting before I could remember, Colin would do anything for me. He'd tell me bedtime stories, teach me how to throw and how to catch, pay me like 5 cents if I caught the ball. That's big money for like a 2-year-old. He didn't even do the dirty work. My parents were away and he stuck babysitting. He'd give me baths. So actually, before I get too far into my speech, I just want to stop and say, I'm sorry for pooping in the tub. That one time. For the last 24 years, 22 years, I think it was 2, every girlfriend I've had, friend I've met, just a stranger on the street willing to listen, Colin has told them that I poop in the tub. What I actually found out yesterday was that Colin was in the tub with me. So now who's the weirdo? Hey, too late for you. Alright. So, seriously, Colin, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for pooping in the tub when I was 2.
You're not forgiven. I'm going to tell everybody you did. I'm not telling them that I was in the tub.
One of us will. Alright, no, but seriously, I always looked up to Colin, so I could know what was cool. And he really did talk. No, that wasn't a joke, but I didn't know better when a kid. He's like the only person I like. He taught me about everything. He taught me how to play soccer and basketball, sports, so I could make friends and exercise. Taught me how to play video games, so I could beat those friends, and something that didn't take any athleticism. He taught me about the gremlin that lived in our basement. The funny thing about this gremlin is he would only come out when I was alone if I went down into the basement. And Colin would heroically go down there and talk to the gremlin because he liked to smoke, and Colin would try to explain to him how that's not appropriate. And that's why Colin always came back upstairs smelling like funny cigarettes. So he's always been here. But really, Colin and I, we've always been there for each other. It was hard. I was 10 years old. I remember he moved to Atlanta for a year. I remember how excited I was when I found out, that Colin was moving back home. I went with my dad to the airport to get him, and I remember getting in the car, and all I could think was, who is this long-haired hippie and where's Colin? Seriously. It was long. No, but once we got home, he's still the same old lovable brother, just a little bit weirder looking. And Colin, I think, had a similar experience as what I experienced when we picked him up from the airport. When I came back from Dallas, some of you may not know, I was in Dallas for the last 9 months. And when I got back in town a few weeks ago, Colin was nice enough to come out for a few drinks with me and some friends. So we're at the bar, He looks me up and down, sees my V-neck t-shirt, my new salon $60 haircut. He goes on to pronounce to my friends proudly, "My brother Samuel, he's the only guy who can move to Texas and come back even gayer." At least I came back looking like I showered, bro. Alright, but that's the thing I really love about Colin as my brother. We can always bust each other's balls without remorse. Some of my best memories with Colin are of us doing just that. I remember being 5 years old. We lived at 12 Oak Knoll. Colin threw my favorite PlayStation 2 game off our porch into the woods because I literally had hit him in the balls. Obviously, though, we've both grown up now, so stuff like that hasn't happened as recently. And this paper says since last Thursday at the cigar bar, but if I'm being honest, I hit him in the nuts when we were taking pictures. It's like photographer's fault. He told me to do something crazy. No, but seriously, how many people can you do the same, how many people do you have in your life where you do the same activity for 20 years and still get so much joy out of it? That's how I feel about busting balls with Colin. Literally. Oh, man. Excuse me as my voice changes for the rest of the speech. In all seriousness, Colin is a huge reason why I'm not a complete mess up today. Not a joke. Having Colin as an older brother, it's made it so that any mistake he's ever made, he's warned me about and guided me away from. And the truth is, Colin hasn't always had it as easy as I have. He didn't have himself 11 years older telling him what's up and what to do, which I did. So there were some tough years, in your teens and 20s. But no matter how much money you had or how your day or week was going, Colin, you always made time for me. When I was real little, you coached my soccer teams. You showed me how to beat Zelda Ocarina of Time on N64, which was tough. You taught me how to be a Celtics fan, even if our best player was Antoine Walker. Not a lot you could have done that. I really have learned so much from you. And at the same time, as we get older, it's been awesome to see how much you've grown as a person. You used to say things that were incredibly inappropriate at completely inappropriate times. Now you don't do that as much. You used to deliver food for a living. Now you have worked your way up to be one of the top people in a multi-million-dollar company. It's pretty cool. You used to ask me for my AAA card because you ran out of gas again. A lot. Now you take me out for lunch and you never let me pay for drinks. Okay? Lost in the spot. Nuts are hurting. So here's what I've learned over the last 24 years, Colin. No matter what place you're at in life, you're always going to be there for me. You'll always figure out a way to be a big brother, and do what's right. However, you've had me for 24 years, and you've had been with Samantha for 10. And over the last 10 years that you've been with Samantha, you've grown happier and happier. You've grown more and more successful. You've grown more and more responsible, believe it or not. So I guess it turns out that having an awesome brother isn't enough. I think finding a soulmate is about finding the person that brings out the best version of you. And that's why I'm so happy that you found Samantha. Because I don't think anybody brings out a better version of you than Samantha.